Welcome to the Soul Energy Podcast with your guide, Sara Wong. In each episode, we'll be discussing the energy that affects us in all aspects of our lives, emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually, from the voice of the collective soul. We'll also explore the science of energy, the spiritual side of energy, and the healing power of energy. This is the place to get the tools and knowledge to help you create a life that thrives on energy. I'm so excited to have you here. Let's get started. Welcome to this episode all about the soul energy. Soul energy is very interesting because there's many types of souls here on earth. There's multidimensional souls, elevated souls, singular souls, and duality souls. And you might be asking yourself, which one are you? So, souls are really dependent on the personal journey of the human experience and what we choose to embody in our reality. And the more we expand our consciousness, the more we really connect to our higher self, the invisible realm, dimensional fields, frequency, the more we can really connect to our soul, which works with all of our higher chakras, pretty much from the heart all the way up. This energy and frequency of the soul supports us in navigating our reality with new ideas, new thoughts, new inventions, new creations, new lyrics, new books, new movies, you name it. It's coming through the soul energy of wanting to make a positive impact, wanting to make a difference in each other's life, in our lives. And that's the energy of the soul. So the multidimensional soul, this soul is also known as a star seed. It's an energy that's specifically here to share their frequency with Earth. This energy could have a lot of different lessons to heal, to work with, to journey with. This energy, I like to say, is multifaceted. So, for this type of energy, you might have multiple twin flames. In fact, you might have five different twin flames connected to different energies. They could be connected to water, the elements of water, fire, air, earth, or the etheric energy. And those could be energies that support us in our development and our growth. Can also have five different twin flames that bring essence of your soul. You journey together for a certain period of time. It's magical. It's everything's aligned, and when you separate, it's almost as if you are never together, and it feels so distant and so complete. But when you're together, it's everything makes sense. And that's, twin flame energy. On a soul that has a singular frequency, typically those energies will only have a soul mate. They're really here just to be with one energy and journey with them their entire time. So they're here to embark on specific lessons together, growth together, healing together, creation together, and that's the entire journey. So there's really no comparison of like which is better, which is more evolved, because we're all here to serve a unique purpose, and that might specifically be with many people or just one individual. And then you have the multifaceted soul. This is a soul that has consciousness but is also singular. So they might have more than one partner, but they live in this energy of purpose and consciousness. So it's kind of the seeker energy. It's one who's on this journey of evolving themselves and doing that in a way that feels right for them. So at times they might be very spiritual and other times they might be very human. At times they, could be very intuitive, and other times they might be very narrow-minded and stuck in their old ways. And that's a lot of the energy that has been on earth for a while, along with the singular energy, the singular soul energy. And that's mostly because of where consciousness has been. But as we started introducing new frequencies to earth in the 70s and the 80s, there were specific events that happened that helped kind of shift the energies and the frequencies all the way to 2012 up until the Aquarian age that hit earlier on these last few years in 2020. So we're really moving into a time and space where it's easier to become a multidimensional human. You just have to check in and make sure it makes sense for you, because if you learn all these gifts and stuff and you're not using them, in a way that serves you, or you're just not using them, maybe that part of your energy field is not needed right now. Maybe it's in the future, or maybe it's just there to support you. And where your energy is meant to focus on is very purpose driven. So the soul is this energy of possibility. It's endless. The soul can tap into any dimension, any space and time. It's connected to our higher chakras, so it helps us bring in that energy, bring in that awareness, and bring in the information that can inspire us on our journeys. Souls also oversee the idea, the energy, the themes of our human experience. So before we embody into our human self, our soul reviews locations, families, lessons, opportunities, possibility. And based on the frequencies of those locations, of the families, of the community, they choose what feels best for them to fulfill what their divine purpose might be in this embodiment. And in that, if it feels that maybe it needs to be in a few different places, it breaks up the energy, and that's where that twin flame energy kinda comes in, and it's so strong and passionate because you're connected to that same soul energy. You're just split in half, so when you reunite, it's this magnifying energy. And it's not like, siblings. It's really like, completely 2 different versions of your energy, and completely independent when you embody from your soul. So the soul's only creating the DNA, the frequencies for you to activate in your reality, but it's really up to the individual to do that. So you could have dormant twin flames all over the place that haven't even activated that energy to be able to reach you, to be able to connect with you. And that's why sometimes twin flame energy can become so distant, because when it goes dormant, which is, always free wills, always here on earth, it defaults to the ego, and that ego could definitely, disconnect from the soul energy, and put that energy, that individual, on a whole new path that might never ever encounter you again, or in general. So that's why it's like there's no given, like, this has to happen, you're meant to meet this twin flame, because it depends on what type of soul energy you are. If you're a multidimensional soul, you could have a lot of different twin flames with a lot of different energies that are here to connect with you. So in my experience reading a lot, thousands, if not almost hundreds of thousands of lifetimes as a group collective, I just see every this expansion of consciousness, and how it's different for everyone based on their journey, what they've been through, what they're going through. So at times, these multidimensional souls could really shut down and become singular dimensional souls if they choose. So it's really not like, oh, you're here and you have to do this. It's really an opportunity that's always available for us. The soul is always working with us no matter what. Even if we shut down and really are guided mostly by our ego, the soul's still sending us dreams, messages, numbers, songs, friends, healing, and always working with us. So the soul energy is really here to support us, and that could be soul tribe energy, soul family energy, soulmates, twin flames, karmic soulmate partners, and just serendipity. So soul energy, like soul meets soul, right? It might be a soul that's not even on your journey, but for some reason you both intersect and really can just support each other in that moment. And you may never have that moment again, but for some reason you had that moment, and you both needed it in a certain way. So soul energy is very, very powerful for many reasons, because of that possibility to tap into that invisible realm. So what type of soul are you majority of the time? Are you a multidimensional soul? Are you really connected to your higher self, the invisible realm, different dimensions, telepathic abilities, into learning more, expansion, conscious creation? Or are you a singular soul that is really focused on your journey, and is here to grow, is here to learn, is here to use the gifts you need in a very specific way? And that journey might be with a very specific group of people. Are you a duality soul where you go back and forth? You go in between different energies, allowing yourself to be a full expression of who you're here to be in this reality, leveraging your gifts and also working with your ego to evolve it, to consciously work with it, consciously create and do that with specific, career, with a specific job, with a specific group. So again, that might you might not change a lot. You might stay the same, but you're, navigating both conscious reality and in the visible realm, the subconscious, the spiritual side. And or are you, an old soul? Old souls are come here to earth to, do their work, heal, bring healing to their soul group, their soul energy, live through those karmic lessons. Old souls sometimes like people misinterpret them because they might come off as aloof or, you know, lazy, not a go-getter, because old souls, they don't play the game. They're just here to do what feels right and or they're here to share their wisdom. They're here to create. They waited a lot of lifetimes to just have freedom and specifically chose this lifetime in this time to be a teacher, to be a conduit to not necessarily compete and be the best, but definitely be a part of the awakening in a big way. Also, old souls are definitely here to be the foundational frequency. Sometimes old souls don't even serve. They just hold so much love. And usually this is like our grandparents. They're just love and they hold that love frequency here. And then we have some new energies coming in that, might not have a ton of abilities or a ton of talents, but they're pure love and they're pure joy. And they're here just to be that. So that's an old soul as well. It's that knowing you're just here to be you, you're just here to do you, and that's it. And then, of course, there's all kinds of other souls depending on your journey. There's young souls, there's baby souls, and those souls might come in for a very small amount of time and do the work they need to do, and then they reincarnate because they only needed to do a certain amount of work in a certain amount of time. And the time that they were here was enough to do that. And allowing that to be their journey and allowing yourself to know that they reincarnated or they might reincarnate again with you when you're ready or when it feels the timing is divinely aligned for both of you. Because sometimes energies will come in, especially with miscarriages. I've seen it a lot with healing women who've had miscarriages is their body wasn't fully ready. Their physical attention was needed and they wouldn't be able to get the baby to full term. So that's why sometimes the miscarriage happened, and it was true. The female needed more healing, and because of that, they were able to get whatever they needed to then fully conceive and have a healthy pregnancy. Sometimes souls leave and we miscarry when they're not ready and the environment doesn't feel ready. So if there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of energy that doesn't feel stable, they might decide, not time yet, and they might depart, and it's not a punishment, although it might definitely might feel like that. It's more so of a frequency alignment, and when children embody and come into earth, they're choosing their date, they're choosing their time, and they're doing it based on the frequencies that make the most sense for their journey. So souls are highly intelligent. They always can see the bigger picture. They can see, souls connect to that invisible realm, which is there's no time or space. The ego only connects to the conscious realm, the 5% of our reality that we think we have control over. And in that, it only works with time and space. So the soul sees all the past, the soul sees the future and can support us in navigating. So the more we get to know our soul, the more we get to know our gifts, our intuition, our abilities, our essence, our alignments. We can learn this through numerology. We can learn this through astrology. We can learn this through our Akashic. We can learn this through a lot of different healing modalities and, including Reiki, Qigong, all these types of energy help move our frequencies so we can open up our consciousness and receive intuition, receive these types of not this knowledge and wisdom from our higher self that guides us, moves us in a whole other way. So our soul is essentially our navigator of the invisible realm, that 95% subconscious realm as well, and can easily tap into that and point out, hey, here's where we need healing so we can let this belief system go and no longer hold us back. Here's the lessons we need to receive or explore before we can move forward. So our soul is a compass of that invisible realm. And the more we can connect to it, the more guidance we can get intuitively. And it's one of the biggest challenges with the soul is, how do you trust it? How do you build a relationship? That's the number one question I get. And the biggest thing is start listening and seeing what feels right for you, because again, there's many ways to connect to the soul and the soul essence, your soul energy. So, of course, if you'd like to learn more, an Akashic reading with me is highly recommended. It is an opportunity for you to have a deep, passionate, healing conversation with your soul group, your soul team, get guidance on where you're at in your journey and, where you're really wanting to expand and evolve at a soul level. So, when I do readings, it's basically me channeling your soul and allowing your soul to have complete attention to you. And I could do this live or on demand. So it's really up to you to see what feels right. And I'll put a link below to how you can book that, more information. And you can always comment below, reach out with questions. Obviously, this is super high level. The soul's extremely complex. So is more of an overview of the energy, and there's obviously a lot more that can go into this, connected to the planets, connected to all kinds of stuff, when you go into that multidimensionality. But we'll save that for another episode. Comment below any questions, and I can always do a follow up to this episode and answer those questions, as I know the soul is an ongoing energy we're learning many different ways to connect to. So, with that, have a powerful time connecting to your soul and really making an effort to build a strong relationship with your soul that's definitely here to support you on your journey. And with that, I'll see you next time. And that is this week's episode. What an honor to spend this time with you. Make sure you journal, reflect, and spend some time on this energy to see how certain topics that were covered apply to your reality and how you can move forward when that energy shows up next time. And for more services, products, content to support you on your spiritual journey, make sure to visit energyhouselb.com. That's energyhauslb.com. Also, make sure to follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. It is all so appreciated. Stay in touch. Until next time.